Do you know that social media is not good or bad, and that it is you who is using it that is either good or bad? Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, verify the information, and reflect before sharing it. Now, are you a good social media user? Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source for a better Nigeria.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to NOA River State Dialogue, a platform where we weekly sensitize citizens on government policies, programs, and activities. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've joined us, do well to share so others can get notifications to join. Like you know, we bring you important topics weekly, and today we'll be discussing 2023 general elections, preparations and expectations. It's our thing to always bring highly resourced persons into the studio to discuss every topic. Today is not an exception, as I have with me on my immediate left Ambassador SYLVESTER OKODUWA, Zonal Chairman, South-South Transition Monitoring Group, TMG. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We appreciate your presence, sir. By his side, I have Mrs. ESTHER, KPALUKWU, Coalition of Civil Societies in Peace Building, River State. Thank you so much for coming, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate your presence. Viewers, our topic again is 2023 general elections, preparations and expectations. So I want to start with you. How are we preparing for the forthcoming elections, sir? As a nation, how are the citizens preparing?
Okay, as a nation, well, let me start from INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission. You know, they are the umpire, they are the people that are organizing the election, and also to ensure that we have a free, fair, credible, and transparent election. So, coming to your question, you say, how prepared are they? And also, how prepared are we, the citizens? Let me start from INEC. In the preparation to the pre-2023 general election, we say that INEC, with what we have seen, they are making the adequate preparation. First and foremost, they were able to, display the registration of voters based on their calendar. And secondly, they did what we call they are just with the registration of voters, and after they display it. Thirdly, they did what we call mock beavers to see how effective the beavers will be. I think they have finished that, and just last week they came up with that about 214 polling units does not have registers. So all these are geared towards the preparation of the 2023 election. And two, they have also trained their ad hoc staff. Last week, River State did their own, another state. These are signs that they are preparing towards the 2023 election. But more importantly is, we have pre, during, and post. So during the election, we cannot able to assess or evaluate how prepared they are. Until when we get to that point, we know how prepared they are. Mm-hmm. And in the area of the electorate, I think we have been informed. Civil society like the Transition Monitoring Group has embarked on the awareness and sensitization of the electorate, telling them the need where they should go and vote, because you have the power to change, you have the power to decide, and also you have the power to know who will govern you for the next 4 years. I will have just finished what we call train of trainers in the area of election observers, which we have done in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Mm-hmm. And this week, coming week, we're also expecting to do a rally to sensitize the electorate about the importance of the 2023 general election.
Thank you very much. So viewers, you've heard there have been a lot of preparations, pre-electoral preparations ongoing. He said INEC has done a lot. from registration of voters, issuance of PVC, training of ad hoc staffs, and the mock accreditation exercise. I think indeed INEC has done a lot, and he says citizens are also well informed this time, and I think they are also ready to participate in the general elections. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would want to ask you, with the new innovations like the beavers, do you think that there will be any need for violence in this election?
From what we have discussed and what we've seen, some investigations from the civil society, we've been able to talk to one or two persons, because these elections, the people that are partaking more among the electorates are youths, and youth, there are signs of being violence amongst them. So we've been trying to see how we can mitigate peace, how we can manage conflicts before the election, during the elections, and also after the elections. We've had meetings with traditional rulers, talking to them on the importance of having a peaceful election. We've also liaised with security leaders, even the vigilantes. Some of the vigilantes leaders, we've also talked to them. They should also talk to their people, how to behave well during the election, even before the election, to see how they can mitigate conflict. Because it's that we sense that it might occur.
Thank you very much, Ma. Viewers, you've heard, such from the observation, the sense there may be conflict and violence. But they are advising youth to stay away from violence this period because they are the majority of those who will be involved in the election. Sir, INEC has announced that elections will not hold in about 240 polling units. What impact will this have on the general election?
Yeah, that is one of the areas I want to talk about. You know, INEC coming this period to tell Nigerians that some 240 polling units, we have 50 council in Anambra, and Enugu, Anambra and Enugu 50 polling unit council without register, at the 30, 100 polling unit council in Imo State. So these are they are threats to this election. You know, many people that don't register, and that as a result there will not be votes. You know, I think it's a concern. Many people are seeing it as something that is premeditated, something that is just to ensure that some of the candidates, their supporters are being disenfranchised to actually vote. That is the angle some people are looking at it. But you know, I think they are the umpire. They know why they said there was no register. And I think there is no an explanation, a well-defined explanation to the electorate why there was no register. In the first place, was there register in all those units? If there was no register, how was the unit created? What happened? These are some of the questions that people are asking. But I know that there should also be an effort by INEC that those people who are supposed to vote at that police unit, there are alternative arrangements so that they will not be disenfranchised.
Okay, we have a lot of units. Like in Rivers State, I think we have about 6,800 polling units in Rivers State. So, what significance do you think 240 would have to have created that negative impact you talk about?
You know, one vote can make somebody to lose or win an election. Okay. Yes, it's a fact. You know, in a 600 something units, any unit that you remove, we are not talking of the unit, we are talking of the people who are supposed to vote in that unit. You are denying their right to vote, their inalienable right to vote. That is our concern. So it's not about we have 6,000 units in Rivers State. Any unit that is being expunged from the existing unit is a concern, and the people there will not have that opportunity to actually vote for a candidate of their choice. That is the concern.
Okay. Okay. Ma, I would want to ask you, what roles do you think Nigerian youth and societies can play to ensure a peaceful electioneering process?
Well, Nigerian youths, I want them to be aware that violence is not profitable. That no society would grow both economically, socially with violence. So they should always give peace a chance. We want to talk to our youths on the election day. They should also try and use nice words. They should try as much as possible not to, start any quarrel, as in trying to support or trying to castigate a candidate from any party. They should learn to cohabit. We should learn to cohabit. There's greatness in opposition, so they should learn to cohabit. They should shun violence, because if they take on to violence, they will lose their chance. Because I know a lot of youths, they are eager to vote and they are eager to ensure their vote counts. So I want to tell them the only way their vote will count that day, they should also be ambassadors of peacekeeping. Okay. Before the election, after the election, even during the election.
Okay, I think I like the statement, there's greatness in opposition.
Yes.
You know, when one political party comes to the candidate and that's all you have no power to choose who should lead you. So I think there's actually great sense in saying that. Yeah. So we should just do well to go, vote, and just leave and let others also vote.
And I want to add something also. I want to also appeal to INEC. They should try and get the voters' materials on time to the polling unit, because that would to reduce the frustration, people waiting too long on the polling units. So they should try. And we also want to appeal to security agents to beef up security, so people can be free. But some persons are still scared of coming out to vote because they're scared there could be violence. And most of these persons, some people will want to create this violence to make sure you don't come out to vote. They are all the ones on ground. So let the security operations be. They should beef up all their strategies in their hands so that we ensure that we don't allow people create violence. And we should tell ourselves we all are peace ambassadors. We should make sure we make the peace and keep the peace.
Thank you very much. Viewers, you've heard how we all are peace ambassadors. We should make peace and keep the peace. Thank you very much, Matt. So I wanted to add.
What I want to add to it, in as much as violence is not good, violence is not a good product to you that is about to create an ugly situation. Violence is not good for the environment. But we advocate that government will not also create and induce violence. Yes, because you see what is going on now. That there are attempts to create situations that will ignite, that will provoke the masses, to embark on violence. Yeah, government should not do it with their policy. You see what is going on as I was coming. There is a great tension. There is tension. People cannot move. People cannot move from one point to another. People cannot buy what they want to buy.
We will come to that, sir.
So we should also try, as we are educating the youth, that they should not be violent. The state actors should also be mindful of their policies and programs, not to create violence.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll come back to you. But for now, we would want to join our correspondent from LMA local government area, where we have Charity Godchild standing by. Over to you, Charity.
Welcome to Lemon. Good day, viewers. I'm Mr. Charity Godchild, former Element local government. I'm here to present the topic of 2023 general election, the expectation and preparation. I'm here with Godson, Mr. Godson, to present the topic on general 2023 general election, the expectation and preparation.
Thank you very much, Vila. From my own observation, the preparation for 2023 general election is very high compared to 2015 and 2019. because even as at yesterday when I went to the INEC office at Elimi, people were trooping in order to collecting their PVC in preparation for the 2023 general election, because people are willing to change, bring in the right government. Not unlike before, where they showed nonchalant attitude towards voting, but now the electorate are fully enlightened and prepared to change, to make the needed change in government. The preparation is very high, and the expectation high.
Over to you, Mrs. Patience. Joseph.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Charity. Thanks for that feedback. Viewers, you've heard our correspondent. I think that's a positive report. He said Nigerians are participating actively in collection of PVC because they are ready to go vote their candidate. Well, that's a good one there. Do well to use your PVC on that day and do well to ensure that there's a violent-free election. So we were talking about the topic before we joined our correspondence. You tried talking about
that these are induced crises that may prevent, allegedly, that may prevent the 2023 election not to go. That these are planned by some persons that may scuttle the 2023 general election. And if you look at it vividly, why this time? Suddenly, there was fuel crisis that from 180 to 400. And we have not done with that. The issue of Naira redesign came up. That you see that there is tension, there is burning of banks and so on and so forth. These are things that people are saying that it is an endowment. And also from comments from some politicians, you will know that there is voice of Jacob Hand of Esau. So, but what we advocate and advise Nigerians is that let us be tools to be used to scatter this 24 years of democratic rule in Nigeria. Let us not be an agent or a tools that they will use to bring another democratic governance to this nation. But we have to be on the watch. We have to ensure that no matter the provocation, no matter the situation, the difficulties that we are faced as Nigeria, it cannot be more when we experience COVID-19. It cannot be more. I know Nigerians are resilient people. Yes, the youth are resilient people. There is nothing lasts forever. What you are seeing now will soon face up. So let us, the youth, everybody, the electoral empire, the citizens, let us try to ensure that on 25th of this month, you go and cast your vote to elect who will be your leader. Violence is not a product of good thing. It can never bring a good thing. Violence, a violent society cannot attract good things. And I want to erase more. What are the causes of violence? One, during the election, when you bring a malfunctioned beaver that is not working, that thing can generate agitation. When you see people are selling and buying votes, it can generate. When you are trying to intimidate voters, no allow. When you are trying to, militarize the place, yeah, you can deploy security, but you have to deploy them effectively and efficiently, so that it will not impact, it will not infringe on the fundamental human rights of people. I remember 2019 we are going to say we should hands up. These are not things that should be encouraged. They should work professionally. They should create an enabling environment where people can go and cast their vote and go to their vote.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. You've heard him. Viewers said Nigerians are resilient people. Don't allow the situation on the ground to stop you from going to cast your vote. He also made mention of some causes of violence, where he mentioned the malfunctioning of beavers. I think INEC has really done a lot of preparations to ensure that the elections go smoothly. We are aware as an organization that INEC is making provisions for spare beavers, just in case there's a malfunctioning one in any unit. So citizens should go with the mind that there's every arrangement on ground on the part of the government. Just try to do your own part so everything goes smoothly. Don't go with expectation that the government will fail you. I think they are well prepared for the forthcoming elections from our observation as an agency. So just do your own part and everything will go smoothly. Ma, I want to know if you have a different view on the impact of the redesigned Naira note on the forthcoming election.
For me, send that money to the real sector, that sector that produces goods and services that will propel economic growth. But unfortunately, I don't know who's trying to sabotage it, because I don't know why banks don't have enough of this cash. Because I don't believe they should have the cash analysis, the cash management analysis, the cash consumption rates for every state. And I want to believe the central bank is supposed to allocate such to every state according to their statistics, their data, how they've been consuming cash before now. And probably can say you can keep a limit, maybe a day withdrawal of 50,000 to also try to control cash. But for now, what we're seeing, if when you go to the bank, you can't even get 2,000. It's a problem. So I think government should look into their.
But don't you think this will positively impact the election, like prevent things like vote buying and others?
Yes. I think one of it is also to prevent vote buying. You know, because they know before now Nigerians will sell our conscience. You understand? Vote in line with sentiment. So they want us now to vote credibility. So don't look at money. Whichever candidate you think is your candidate and you think you believe in he or she, vote for that person without money. But notwithstanding, like I said, the policy is a good one. But government should also monitor the bank so they can dispense cash. Because I believe something, if you can take like 20,000 per day, that won't be enough for you to buy votes on the election day.
Okay, thank
so
you.
To reduce the stress, because like my colleague rightly said, you know, it has made the misery rate so high in Nigeria right now. You go to the street, you see what people are going through. They can't get cash, they can't get fuel. So what's the reason for fuel? Would they use fuel to buy vote as well? Or maybe they're trying to distract it? You know, so government should look at all this. I think government should monitor the bank to dispense this cash. I stand on the rates. I don't want them to even go back to it. But they should make the money available.
Okay, thank you very much. She's saying she stands with the redesigned Naira notes. We're going to try to make the new Naira notes available. Thank you for that contribution. You wanted to add something?
To add to what she said, yes, the Naira design is a very good approach and a good step. This one, and I want to
how they consume their cash.
Vote buying is not only I give you money, you give me PVC. There are a lot of things that are used, factors that contribute to vote buying. One, allegedly, do you know that it's part of the university? They are selling their PVC 20,000. They will just get the 6 digits. Because we have asked INEC that people are buying, selling their PVC, selling and buying their PVC. What is the intention of the politician? What do they want to use? And they say no, they cannot use it with this
new beavers
technology that to the beavers. But I want to tell you that people are selling and buying PVC 20,000. They are there. Okay, the question is how, where, and how can they use this PVC? Is a question. Two, I have also seen list, and a comprehensive list with bank numbers, accounts. You know, the new Naira design is to stop vote buying. I think, well, let's wait and see.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Like he made mention of people selling their PVCs. INEC, we don't have INEC here today, but as an agency that has partnered with INEC on a lot of issues, I think I can say with boldness that selling your PVC at this point is as good as useless. With the introduction of the beavers that we've observed as an agency, we've seen them use the beavers. We've attended trainings with them and we've seen how the beavers function. It will either accredit your fingers or your facials. So I don't see how someone else can use another's PVC. So if you're selling your PVC, just know that you are disenfranchising yourself and you should ensure that you have that PVC with you. Don't go selling your PVC. The person cannot use it. Hold your PVC and vote your conscience. Before we come back to the studio, I would like to open up the phone lines. Our phone line is +234 91 66 58 7355. We have it on the screen just in case you didn't get it. Do well to call. Let your voice be heard on national platform. Bring in your contributions. We would like to hear from you. Thank you very much. Ma, did you by any chance witness the mock accreditation exercise INEC conducted? Okay, but you have an idea of how the beavers function.
Yes,
I want to also say something about the selling of PVC or somebody voting in proxy for another.
For what we've learned so far about the beavers, in fact, I want to say with authority that you sell your PVC to someone, you are just defranchising yourself. You just want to lose your voice. They will not be able to use your PVC. So I want to tell everyone not to sell their conscience. They should stand for a better Nigeria by voting who they feel is capable of managing our resources properly.
Thank you very much, viewers. You've heard her. Do well not to sell your PVC. We have a lot of comments coming in. I'd like to take a few. Bridget Demio. Government should create a conducive atmosphere for voters at the poll to enhance their participation in elections. Thank you very much, Bridget Demio. She also said government should also endeavor to resolve all crises arising from the new citizens have confidence in the electoral process. I think we said that too in the studio. Thank you very much for your contribution. Bridget Demio still says, the people expect government to attend to issues bothering us as a nation that have or will hinder development. The people are very concerned about recent activities that have affected both banking and business transactions. Some are thinking of how to feed and become healthy to get to the poll to exercise their rights. Thank you very much for that contribution. Peter Ikabe said Nigerians expect the electoral empire INEC in addressing some foreign logistics issues in the conduct of elections and ensure that 2023 general elections are different from all previous elections in terms of INEC's preparation and delivery. So I want you to say something on this. Do you think the recent happening about the redesigned Naira notes and other development can affect INEC's preparation before coming election?
No, INEC they have already complained that they need funding. One thing is to fix a date for an election, and two is to operationalize it. Okay. To ensure that the exercise holds. You see that the area of transportation is a huge aspect of conducting an election. And if they don't have money, they don't have access, they don't have the physical cash to do some certain things, it will affect the election.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. We believe INEC as a body is a government's body, and we want to believe that the government is doing everything possible to ensure the election holds and is peaceful. Citizens should just try to do their own part. Thank you very much. Peter Ikabe still said, we expect INEC not to collaborate with any political party. They should be neutral in the whole process. Ma, you've been observing. Have you observed INEC's involvement with political activities?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think INEC will not put us to shame this time around. If they've done that in the past, I believe this time around they know that the electorate are wiser. They are ready. So I also want to use this medium to appeal to them, to appeal to their conscience, to do the needful. So I'm worried for that.
You've heard from our guest viewers INEC will not do that in this election.
Sorry, INEC can involved in political activity, not by the partisan. Like when you are conducting primaries, INEC they observe the primary, they ensure that the internal democracy of political party are being followed because they set the rules. But the area my colleague is saying that they should not be partisan. They should not be partisan.
We do know that INEC is a major stakeholder in every election, but we are saying that Peter Ikabe is saying there should be neutral with their involvement with political parties. And so far, I think we've observed INEC, they are doing well in the pre-electoral process. We want to believe that they would hold up to that standard during the election. Peter Ikabe said, government should, Mrs. Rosemary Abe had said, government should calm the tension in the land for a peaceful and credible general election. This is because of the scarcity of the new Naira note and poor internet connection. It is urgent and government should act fast. Thank you very much for that contribution. Peter Ikabe still said, politicians should not see the election as a do-or-die affair, but play the role and international best practices. Thank you so much for that contribution. Waikana Command said, security agents should be mobilized to tackle the issue of electoral violence before, during, and after the elections to repose confidence in the electorate. Security agents should be mobilized to tackle the issue of electoral violence before, during, and after. Thank you very much for that contribution. Douglas Madis is saying, I'm watching. Thank you so much for watching. Waikana Brigade said, INEC should activate our Elections Operations Center to identify potential threats in real time and speed up the responses. I think INEC has also come up with a code where people can actually report, where those who they've employed as ad hoc staffs can actually report threats. So there's a provision for that. Doris Omako is saying, I'm watching. Thank you so much. Waikana Brigade, to help ensure a safe and secure general election in Nigeria, the whole process should be investigated in people and technology to reduce the spread of misinformation and remove harmful content across the app. I want us to say something on this. So do you think social media has any impact on the general election?
Yes, social media play a wonderful impact, positive and negative.
Okay.
But in the area of positive impact, it has helped to showcase, to show rallies, policy, ideology, programs of the candidates, and from barriers, somebody can a radio have a limit, but social media does not have limits. It's spread across boundaries. So people are watching what is going on in Nigeria. On the area of a negative aspect of it, you see a lot of fake news and so on and so forth. But thank God we have fact checks. You can check some of these fake news that you will know that it's not a genuine, this is genuine. So social media play a very important and strategic role in the election. Like the former Ghanaian president said, he said he did not know that social media is so effective that his opponent used it against him and he lost the election. So social media is very, very effective.
Ma, would you want to add anything to misinformation on social media?
They said it all. Social media is very effective to disseminate, spread information, because there are limits traditional medias can reach, but with social media, even the young child on the streets can also reach. But the disadvantage most times, they don't, they try to also ignite violence, because when they see something that are not yet verified, they just make it go viral and send wrong signal. Before you know it, it will erupt some violence. So we want to use this one to appeal to our social media users to ensure before they send any information by the social media, they should do a fact check to be sure what they're sending is the correct information.
Thank you.
Inform the public.
Thank you very much. Viewers, you've heard her. The spread of fake news can actually ignite violence. Like, National Orientation will always carry out a campaign which is stop the spread of fake news. This election period is not the time to actually just share whatever you see. Do well to confirm and verify every information before you share.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We would like to join our correspondents from Bonny local government area, where we have Iwarelima Brown standing by. Over to you.
Honorable patience.
Yeah, good morning. Well, I am Patience, Honorable Patience Green, Honorable Councillor representing the good people of Wadelemu, Bonny local government. As you can see, right now, we're in the process of campaigning. You rightly asked a good question, and an answer should be given to that question. Ordinarily, as a party, the People's Democratic Party, you can see that we are 100% ready for this election. And that's why you can see that we are going from units to units as an LGA to make sure we reach out to every individual and reason that we want to go against winning the elections. We believe in one man, one vote. And then we also believe in peace, unity, love amongst ourselves. That's what we tell you that the PDP in Bonny local government and the well-meaningful people of Bonny local government are 100% ready for this general election. Come 25th of February, no, by God's grace, we are going to be victorious. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. Well, viewers, this is a disclaimer from National Orientation Agency. We are not by any means endorsing any political party. It happens that he found himself on a campaign ground, but we've had the correspondence there, one man, one vote. It doesn't matter who you're voting for, it doesn't matter the political party, but your vote. We want to assure that your vote will count in this election. There will be proper arrangement, proper technologies on ground, so do well to just take yourself out and vote the candidate of your choice. Sir, with the introduction of the new technologies, what are the expectations? We look up to a lot of things in this election. Let's hear from you. What are your expectations in this election?
Yeah, the expectation is high. I have opportunity to attend a different forum where this issue of the effectiveness of beavers for discourse. It's an improved technology, and if actually that it can be used effectively at the school. And you know, it was used in Osun State, and during the tribunal judgment, they wanted to discredit the beavers. But thank God, INEC, for the first time, INEC appealed that judgment. That is to say, they believe in the beavers, and they know that the beavers will work effectively. So if it is with what we had, and also with the mock exercise that was recently carried out, there is hope. There is hope, and I think it will be different from the old narrative, where somebody will say, write the results, let's go and meet in court. But this we have helped to escalate that perception, and also there is a new reawakening that INEC will get it right. But when we are concerned is that of recent, as I said, this issue of, because if some people are not sure that this thing they are doing, they can use it, they will not be doing it. The level of buying of PVC, we have approved INEC from the national, state level, and so on and so forth. They have assured them. But the politicians are also telling the people that who they are buying this thing from, I understand that they are going to use it, especially the area of the 6 digits. You know, they said, if this, I don't want to misquote, but I would want INEC to reassure Nigerians, to reassure the voters, the electorate, that it cannot, the rivers cannot be managed.
Representatives said here, but I think no one knows a lot about what's going on to say something about everything. From the observations of the beavers, I think I personally have heard the beavers, have operated the beavers. You know, talking about the last 6 digits of your PVC, yes, that is just to pop up the user's information. When you put the last 6 stage, authentication, where INEC requires that you are authenticated by either your fingerprint or the facials. That's where the bimodal comes in. One of it must have to just work. In case the vote fails, INEC have said you have to leave the premises. You cannot cast your votes if the beavers do not authenticate you. So selling of the beavers, I'm still saying, is as good as useless. I think we can assure the public that that would not work this time around. INEC is well prepared. The beavers will work properly and function well. When there's a malfunction, there's also provisions for replacement. Citizens should have that confidence in the process this time. All you need to do is come out and play your own part. Oh, I would want to also know what your own expectations are in the forthcoming elections.
My expectations are quite high.
Okay.
Because I know this 2023 February 25th election will not be women. The women are taking it upon themselves to encourage even their husbands and their children. You know, the woman, like I say, no woman nation, but I don't want to be gender here right now. But I'm trying to say the important role the women have been playing all this well. They try to, you know, encourage the youths and everyone around them to have more hope in this election. And they are all prepared to come. But the expectations are high, and we are believing in INEC to deliver a credible election.
Thank you very much for that contribution. Like she said, she does not want to be gender biased, but the women have turned out to actually encourage people to vote. That brings us to the family. The family is the smallest indivisible unit of the community. If we get it right at that point, I think we'll get it right in every society. So every parent should try to encourage their young children to stay away from violence this period. Those who are adults already 18 and above and have their PVCs should turn up. Parents should encourage them to go out and cast their votes. There's a campaign, vote and not fight. Election is not war. Go out, cast your vote and return home peacefully. This time around, there will be no manipulation like we are expecting that there will be no manipulation. Yeah, the beavers would register those who were accredited.
There's a high expectation. And also, I also have that high expectation that INEC will do it rightly. Though there may be some little ages, yeah, you know, you cannot have a baby without having some practice of love. So there will be some ages, but I think it will be an improvement. But what I want to say is that let's stiffen the space of not allowing your opponent to campaign and so on and so forth. It's not good for our democracy. It's not good. It ignites violence. And it also creates fear of intimidation. And these are ties responsible for voter apathy. So the political graduator in our state should see their sword and allow peace to reign.
Thank you very much for that contribution. Viewers, you've heard him. He said politicians should allow peace to reign, allow your opponent to do whatever he wants to do. That the electorates are informed now. Campaign or no campaign, political activities or not, we have within our consciences who want to take that. Vote your conscience this time. Ma would want you to give your last note to our viewers.
My last note to our viewers go to those that are still selling their PVCs for money or giving their PVC details for money. I want to tell them they are endangering themselves because they are shutting their mouths. It's like using padlock to padlock their mouth and their destiny. Because there's no other, the politicians or whoever that's buying those PVCs will not use them. They are only trying, probably they know who you want to vote for. They know who you have. Let anyone block your destiny. Stop selling your PVC for money. Think of how it's better government.
Thank you.
Good governance. I'm not.
Okay.
And second, I need to appeal to government to also create enabling ground for every party and every political party to strive. There should be room for opposition. Oppositions, they are the watchdog to the economy. They also ensure economic growth because they appraise what the government is doing and where they are lacking will help the government sit up. So we also need them as an engine for growth. And my last word is peace. We all are peace ambassadors. Wherever you find yourself, please preach peace. Don't do anything that will ignite violence. Respect everybody's political path.
And the popular say, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Your PVC is the only weapon you have in this election. Do not go there with any other thing. Just go with your PVC, cast your vote, and leave. Election is not war. Don't go there fighting. And be at the back of your mind that this is not about the next 4 years. Whatever about the next government to create in that 4 years would affect you and even your children yet unborn. So have that at the back of your mind that you're doing yourself a favor by not creating issues on that day, by going there to actually vote for the candidates of your choice, by not selling your vote or your PVC. This topic is very important at this moment, so we would want to continue next week Friday. Do well to join us. For now, we would want to give honor to whom honor is due. We would want to thank you, Sylvester OKODUWA, for joining us in the studio.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much for coming, sir. We'd also want to thank Mrs. Esther KPALUKWU for coming to the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, ma.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
We appreciate your presence. Viewers, you've heard all that they have said. Do not forget. Also, do well to share this. Instead of sharing fake information on social media, I think we should do well to hook up with government platforms on social media and share verified news on that platform. Thank you so much. We want to thank our executive producer, his mother president, Dr. Garba Abari, the Director General of National Orientation Agency. Thank you so much for giving us this platform where we'll talk to viewers and also hear from them. Thank you so much. We would also want to thank our executive producer, Barrister Ayo Tamino, who is the Director, National Orientation Agency, Rivers State. Thank you so much for all you do, sir. Thank you for the effort, the consistency, for ensuring that this program streams every Friday, no matter the circumstance. We appreciate all you do, sir. We would not forget to thank our studio director, who doubles as the HOD ICT department, Mr. Aroloye Briggs. Thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for sitting behind the camera to make sure that everything goes smoothly every Friday. We appreciate you, sir. It's at this point that I want to wrap up for today. Viewers, don't forget, we shall continue this topic next Friday. Do well to join us. Do well to share this episode. Do well to notify others to join us next Friday. See you next Friday. Until then, I remain Patience Joseph.
Thank you.